Good morning, everybody. My name is Max Farrow. This is DexTrader.com, and I'm doing a live test on the YouTube channel to see how well it transforms some of the things that we're going to be talking about into this video platform coming from Zoom. Well, first off, I hope you had a great holiday. Today is Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. It's usually another day of rest from all the celebration. As you probably hear, I have a cold. Go figure, right? A Boxing Day cold, I guess you can call it. But we're very excited about what's happening over at the Dex family. As most of you know, Dex has some pretty unique tools. We have Dex Signals, Dex Indicators, Dex Trader, Dex Effects World, and Dex Effects Copy. These several companies put together make our Dex brand. The reason why we have so many is because there's a lot of different ways to trade. They all really deal with the trading market, but the real cool part about what's happening with our company is that within our expansion to these other areas, we have found that it is very easy to get lost in that transition, sometimes a transgression. We wanted to be able to build a pathway, if you will. Now, each one of the products has its own variance of what it does for you and its own training platform. So if you're really a super novice, you would simply go to Dex Trader and start your pathway from there. Once you get a little bit of more experience, you can go through the different programs that we have there. You can eventually branch out to some of the other things that we have. Now, Dex Effects World is really just about news and delivering economic news and information out to all of our other systems. So it's more of a delivery system. Dex Effects Copy is a brand new site we're building to house our copier service, hence the name, Dex Effects Copy. Now, our copier service is set up in such a way that we test our system of strategy and bots on the Forex world. And as we test them, we get a certain success rate, a certain percentage, either plus or minus. And of course, if it's in the plus, and if it keeps going in the plus and it proves itself, it will get graduated to the signal delivery process. And once it does, once it passes back testing and forward testing, now we back test for 2 years and we forward test for at least 30 days to make sure that the algorithms all still work within the same parameters as it does in the back test. So if it gets its check mark of approval, it'll go over to delivery, and this delivery service, this copier service now, gets put out to the rest of you. That's right. So when you join Dex Effects Copy, which will be coming out here, there's some advanced, if you look in the description of this video, here pretty soon after the end of the video, there'll be a little link that you could possibly get in for a really huge discount from what we're going to release it for. But so when this happens, the client, you, would then join the website and you would get a certain piece of equipment, okay, a piece of software that would go and attach to your trading platform in MetaTrader 4. If you don't know what that is, that's okay. You don't have to know everything. We're going to teach you a lot of stuff in there. So you as the client would have your own software set up that would connect to ours. So every trade that we made, your system would make for you, hence the copy, okay? Once this happens, this will go to the broker that you choose, and you can really use any broker. We're what we call first in, first out complied, and a whole bunch of good stuff there too. All right. So once that happens, you now can just sort of maintenance it. It's not a set and forget. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here. I'm not one of those people that are going to sit there and tell you that, yeah, it's you don't have to do anything. Right? You're going to have to do stuff. But what you have to do for this system is a lot less than what you have to do for yourself if you're trading manually. Because what does it really come down to? If you're trying to trade in a process, what's the first thing you're going to have to have? Well, first, you're going to have knowledge, right? You're going to have knowledge of what? How to trade, what to trade. Are you trading Forex? Are you trading commodities? Are you trading futures? What are you trading? You have questions to get answered. Once you figure out what you want to trade and what positions and what things you want to add into that, you have to have another process called a strategy. Using more questions to answer. And have you tested that strategy? Or has it been tested? If it has been tested, has it been back tested and forward tested? And then has it been tested live? Let me spell. If these things haven't happened, is this strategy strong enough for you? Because basically it comes down to one thing, really. I mean, if you have a strategy and it's been back tested, forward tested, and live tested, and you get the check mark of approval from these three things, what's the next step from here? Well, every strategy needs to be consistent. And in this consistency, we'll just apply this to be the letter C. Once you get it consistent and you get that percentage rate, doesn't matter what it is, it could be 69, it could be 87, doesn't matter. As long as these numbers average out consistently, if you're consistently in the profit margin. How do you make more money? Well, if your strategy relies around either a PIP calculation or what we refer to as a multiplier, and what this means that a multiplier system is that if the strategy requires you to put 0.7 microlots, 0.07 microlots on for a trade, and the next trade you got 0.04 microlots, that's fine, right? It's not so much about the PIP system on how many pips you're making. It's about profit margin. So at the end of the month, if you've made $1,000, how do you make $2,000 with this kind of system? Well, you simply multiply whatever the copier system's doing. So if we're doing 0.07 and you wanted to make $2,000 instead of $1,000, you would simply apply a ×2 multiplier to your side of the software. That's right. Now, these things all require you to have bigger accounts and all that stuff. If you want to make more volume, you need more balance in your account. Not balance in your life, not oofra, so you're not standing on one foot, but you need more balance, financial balance inside your brokership. I don't care if you got a 1 to 1,000 leverage, you're not going to be putting on 40 standard lots. I see a lot of people out to do that. You know, that I see a lot of crazy ass people who think that I'm going to go in and leverage myself up to the hill. And if this thing goes 10 pips against me, I'm going to lose everything I got. And they don't care. They want to throw that football in the air. They get off on that stuff. I don't. It drives me nuts. I like the slow and sure race, the consistent race. Because as soon as it becomes consistent, I can do one thing. I can add volume. And that, my friends, gets me to my goal every time. This little algorithm, CVG, has been with me for a long time. And it applies to just about everything that I do. All right. So it comes down to these handful of things to make your life consistent. Because making $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month may not seem like a lot to some. But to some, adding simplistic volume controls, account management, those kind of things, this is what really makes your trading life. But again, you need that strategy. Now, you can go out and you could test 5,000 strategies, right? You can go out and you test the London Open, the London Close, the sausage sushi, you know, all these little cute names. Everybody comes up with this stuff. And you can jump into your MetaTrader 4. You could test them all out in a little strategy tester. But that's if your information is correct. That's if your data is good. There's a lot of companies out there that provide false data, fake data. Another thing, too, when you're trying to find an EA, you could try to go another route. Maybe you don't have a strategy. Maybe you need to find what we refer to as an expert advisor or a bot, right? Now you have an open bot and you got a black box bot, right? That means that you can't do nothing. You can't change the variables in it. You have some open bot systems out there that are really good. What's his name? Booker, Mark Booker, somebody like that. You know, they give you open access and all that stuff. But let me tell you, there's a ton of information in there. There's a ton of different ways that bot can go. And you got to find the right one for the right person at the right time, on the right asset, at the right time, in the right session. And you got to worry about all that stuff. At DexFX Copy, what we're doing is that we have all the strategies set out, okay? And we set strategy one. Now, it has to meet our criteria, right? It has to be easy to trade, has to provide consistent value, has to, you know, be tested, of course. And once it's tested, it has to work on a back test, a forward test, and a live test. That's right, right? We put our money where our mouth is, and we say, if it doesn't work, I mean, yeah, it could look great here, it could look great here, but the moment we put it on live money, does it work? Does it pass all the rules and regulations of the brokers? And we test on multiple brokers. Right now, we're testing on 2, Forex.com and Traders Way. We are not affiliated with them. We don't take any money from them. We're not an introduction broker or any of that kind of stuff. You don't have to have an account with them in order to use our bots or anything else like that, or in order to use our copier service. There's no conflict of interest, I like to say. Turns out that they're scamming or rip people off. Excuse me. I'll be the first person to be screaming out there making videos about it. So once we have this, our strategy, like our first strategy, we refer to as the DEX 3000. I know that sounds real corny, but still. Kind of came up with these names because of the pip ratio that most of them do. The DEX 5000. Now, these are ones that are already proven in the system. The DEX 5000 is still in its last little forward test. Okay. But the DEX 3000 is live. All right. And then we have the max set. I know, I'm trying to name these things is not easy without making them sound too corny. And this is in forward testing right now. Okay. So under these 3, you don't take all 3 of them, of course. You take the one that best suits you. Okay. Now, each one has its own attributes. Okay. The DEX 3000 is a little bit lower risk, right? You don't need as high as the bank balance in there. You can also limit and put a governor system on any one of our strategies, any one of our systems, to where you could do a multiplier or only, you know, one mini lot. It sort of skews the results a little bit, you know, as far as like success rate, because we use a multiplier system in here. But the percentage rates are still really good. There's 65% and above in success rate. And you can make good money on this because we have a good R to R ratio in there. Now, it does have a good size drawdown. Okay, I think it's plus 15%. Let's go over and have a look real quick. Do a new share here. Let me, right here. All right, DexFX 5000. 3000. And this is the cool thing about our system too, is that we have everything backed up on my effects book. Okay. This is DexFX 5000. Now, you don't see it verified on this one. You see it verified on the DexFX Live 3000. The DexFX 3000 is our copier service, and the live is us taking them from the copier service. I know it sounds kind of crazy, right? All right, so here's the DexFX Live. Because we were trading other strategies before that on this little tiny account, started out with $930 in this account. We had a little bit of a drop down here before we started the bot. But in the beginning of the month, December 4th, this is where we started the bot. Okay, this is where we started the copier service. And in this month, we made $502 profit, $566 profit this month on 1,185 pips. Now, December is a tough month. Previous month in strategy testing, we were doing a lot better in that. And that's what I mean. The process can be completely different from back testing to forward testing to live testing. The bot itself made $590 for this month on 1,251 pips. We have about 15 open orders at the moment. But our drawdown is really on this kind of about 900 or 9%. About $450 something, $500, right? So if you went a 1-to-1 on this on a $1,000 account, your drawdown would be pretty big. Let's look at it like when it's on the live. There it is right there. So, but I'm only using $1,000, and I was only using a 1 to 300 leverage at this time. At one time, I was only using a 1 to 100 leverage. If you're unsure what leverage is, you'll see some training inside our system to tell you. All right. So the expansion of our testing is becoming more and more. See a little bit of a drop down in growth. Really, really close because there's a huge drawdown. There's a 35% drawdown on the DEX 5000, but it recuperated. Recuperated nicely, actually. And we were almost wondering, is the drawdown too much? But with these bigger accounts, the bigger opportunities comes higher risk. And we know that. The drawdown got huge at one particular time. But eventually came back. And now with our new testing facilities on board, we're very excited about what's about to come out. Let me get over to the one that just started. There we go. Look at that. 30 pips, $20. Very good ratio. Very good ratio. 2 trades just finished out. Nice little system. I like that. Money is being made. Now we're using the demo. This is the forward testing process. So in the forward testing, we'll be putting out a lot more information. Now with that, our system in the back office will start to show all the people that we have on board. Of course, don't want to do that too much. But our system in the back office will give you an opportunity to choose a signal provider. And it'll show you what they've made, it'll show you what they've made for other people. They show you how many pips have been done, what's the profit margin, all that. A lot of times you can get tricked by companies that show you, I call it the Jacob's window, right? It's the little window that people try to show you. I'll show you what I mean here. They take a snapshot of a bot doing really good, right? They show you a statistical line and they'll say, look at this, look how great this is, right? But what most people don't realize is that the market was doing this, right? And they show you this tiny little window of it doing really well because it's on a retracement back. And they're like, I've made $7,000 in this month. Yay. But I've lost 47 for the rest of the year. They don't give you that historical data. Or they only show you little windows of it doing very well at small periods of time. That's why when you get on some places and they only have like a month's worth of data. Right? Now, the cool thing is that there's several different ways to find these companies out there and buy the bots, right? We all know that there's a flat rate for most companies. Secondly, we know that there is a price per month, right? Price per month. And I don't think any company out there does a percentage unless they're using a PAM account or a management system or something like that. Excuse me. But in most cases, if you're going to get a good bot or an EA, you're going to be spending a decent amount of money. If you're buying them for $27 or getting them for free off the internet, you have a lot of testing to do. Most companies are charging between, I'd say, $300 to $500 for a good bot. If you're paying per month, I wouldn't pay anything more than, $100 a month in that process for a bot that's consistent, that comes with variables. It should come with variables, what to set it at, what to get it at, all that kind of stuff. If it doesn't, then pass it on. Now, managed systems, I don't agree with people managing my money. You always have to look at the conflict, right, of interest. If somebody comes on and says, I have the perfect broker, I'll manage your money for you, but you have to use my broker. Yeah, no. Why? Because for every dollar spent and lost, they get money. For every pip that you spend through that broker, your little guy there, your little manager, your introduction broker gets the money. Gets a percentage. So why would he want you to win? He doesn't. He wants you to trade a lot, dwindle down. What's the ratio? 90% of all traders lose 90% of their money in the first 90 days. Right? So what we've decided to do is that we charge I won't even say a flat rate. We charge a setup charge, right? We get you all set up. We get your MT4 on. And we meet with you. It's a custom relationship. We build a relationship with you because it's important for us to build a relationship for you or with you. Because that timing that we have with each other, that it's your money. And I'll show you why it's important to have what we refer to as the win-win. You've probably heard this statement, right? This is where both parties get equal amount of benefit from the solution. So we have a setup fee. Right now it's $150. I'm going to go right to the punch. It's $150 for the setup fee. In January 2nd, literally, we have to. It's because, well, Amy's making me. But it's going to $250. Why? Because we do a lot of work. Excuse me, I'm coughing all over the place today, so I apologize. And this is really about testing today. All right. And then what happens is that how many of you have ever went to, you get a bot and you're like, how am I sure it's going to work? If you're paying a flat rate fee, you're taking the gamble, right? This may not even come up with setup. If you pay $399, they just give you the bot. You go put it on. They probably have some training. Probably have a way to attach it and put it in. But how to test it, how to strategy test it, what variables to start with, where do you go, what asset does it work best on? You don't know any of that. You got to put your time in. Here, we just get it all set up for you. You log into your account. The system will show you exactly what to do. Our system is so intuitive. Here's a couple of things. The setup itself, if you have the experience, you can go set it up yourself. But it still costs $150 because we're there for you. We're there for you in case anything goes wrong. And we set up your account in the system. You get the communication network on and all that kind of stuff. But how easy is it? Well, you get a folder, and inside that folder is a couple more folders, but and then a file, right? And this exe file, right, this executive file or this executable file is a little link that you press, you put on your desktop, right? And you press it, and it installs the bot for you on your chosen MT4. If you already have MT4 downloaded. So you have your broker one, you have it downloaded. We show you how to do all that stuff. But it comes, all this comes with training too. So if you're more of the hands-on type, man, you just go in and grab it, right? Once you get it on and you attach it to a chart, the EA itself will tell you what you need. Is your auto trading turned on? Is your allowed DLL imports turned on? It looks like you're not connected because you didn't activate on the website. It has a self-diagnostic troubleshooting system within itself to say what's wrong with it. And if it can't do it, you simply pick up a phone, call the company. There's a chat room on the site. There is email system response within 24 to 48 hours, depending on the weekend or the holiday. It's that easy, right? Now, if it's so easy, why do we charge $150? Again, because we are here for you. You also, in the setup fee, get a consult by me to find out where you're at, what you want to be able to get from this, to find out where your mental process is, how much experience you have. We're building relationship. You get to know me, I get to know you. How many companies, owners have you done that with? In order to be successful, you have to build this relationship. You want to build a business? This is the way to do it. You want to build a career? This is the way to do it. So now let's get to the good part, because everybody and their mother has some sort of extension of this. I don't think they have this part where it's a one button click. The next part, I know nobody has in my industry, not for what I do. I know none of my competition do. They're scared the hell of it. But we're going to put our money where our mouth is. We're going to put our ass on the line right there with you. Because we can't guarantee that it will work, that you will make money every month. But we can guarantee that we'll stand by a percentage. Because here's what we'll do. In order to do all this work that we do, testing, building the strategies, building the bots, building the EAs, putting them online, testing them, getting them in front of you, making sure that they work on live accounts, testing the brokers, looking at different market regions, other things to get into, all that stuff. What we're going to do is that you don't have to pay any more money unless you're making positive profit, right? I know, it's sick. We charge 20% of profit, right? So what we do is if you make $1,000 profit this month, in 1 month, we'll send you an invoice for the exact amount of $200. That's right. You can go withdraw the $200 from your broker, send it over to us or whatever. It doesn't matter. You pay us from another account. It doesn't matter. You have some time to pay it. You get on board, and your account continues on for another month. Now, what happens if you only make $100? What happens if you started too late in the month and you only make $100 for the month? Well, guess what? You only pay $20. It's only $20. What happens if you're in the negative? You start and maybe the system took some trades. You're still in a drawdown phase, or something's happened and maybe you lost the first 2 trades. And say you're minus $50. Zero. Now, this is live money, right? This is live money. If you're in a demo account and you're testing, some of you like to go all buku crazy, right? Your demo account and you're testing, we're going to charge you per pip, right? That's right. And it's $1 per pip at that point, because it has a great potential. If you make 1,200 pips that month, you had a pretty damn good month. You make 3,000 pips. I'm sorry, it's not $1 per pip. I do apologize. We changed that process in there. With the demo account, you get 1 month, your first month to test and demo. So if you're testing in that demo, we would only charge you what you would have made in profit margin on our main system. So if our main system is DEX 3000, whichever one you chose, if it made $1,000, you would only get charged that amount. I'm sorry, I apologize. In our main live system, on our live account, the DEX. So like if it was this month here, right now, what you would get charged on the DEX 3000, oh wait, go to live, it'd be 20% of that $539. right? It's only about $100 and something. But again, you get all this great stuff in there and this opportunity. Now, throughout the solution too, what do you get for the money you're paying? This is the great part. The continuation of our strategy testing, the continuation on more things that work. That's what you get. Pretty wild, right? Poor puppy wants me to take her out now. And I think that's going to basically take me to that last part. So $150 down is the setup fee. Sorry. Right? This is the setup. And 20% per month. If you buy in now, I'm going to add 2 in now again. If you buy in now, you're getting it for the cheaper price, but you're also going to get some additives on to our Simply Forex system, which is learning how to trade using some very simple tools to give you a nice 30 to 50 pips a day consistently, and learn how to do that for yourself, and only on 1 or 2 pairs. You're not trading 50,000 different pairs. We teach you how to look at the market very simply from that process. You're also going to get our 2 flagship indicators, the DEX support and resistance, and the DEX MACD. Okay. These are going to be from our sister company, dexindicators.net. There'll be a little coupon to go over there, download those, show you how to do them all, get them all on board. Pretty wild. And this will help you while you're trading Simply Forex. You may find that you're just a great trader and you want to do it all on your own. That could be it. That's okay. We've trained thousands of people that way. I'm okay with that. Because the more people we can put in the world that want to help other people and learn how to trade and do it right and not get ripped off, to make wise of all these scam artists and all these bullshitters, yeah, I'm okay with that. All right. So in the description, in the links, all that stuff, there is the links to where this is at. Temporarily, we're housing it all on Dex Trader. And you can tell the very rough webinars we're doing right now is me just starting out with this process. But later on, it'll be on dexeffectscopy.com, which we're just finishing out the websites. It's still the holiday season. We're still kind of getting a lot of things figured out and fixed up and all that kind of good stuff. There'll be also links to our My Effects book publisher system in here, so you can see as we grow. There's nothing for us to hide. You know, you can see exactly what's happening. And it's not going to be just everybody's got to start somewhere, of course, but it's not because we're hiding anything. So you can jump on board, join us in our journey with what we're doing. Because later on, it's very exclusive. Our servers can only handle 50 people. Okay. We have about 20 on there right now. Now, later on, we'll get a bigger server, of course, and then a bigger server. And of course, as we keep going, we'll add more people on. But this amount's going to stay here for about 6 months because I want to be able to maintain what it takes to get to that. And if we bring on people to help us do that, we hire people on to help us maintain the clients, and great. But right now, 50. Here it'll be 100, and here it'll be 200. But these prices are going to be crazy. 4 or 5 times what it is right now for setup fees and getting you on board, because we have to pay people, right? So get in now. Get on board. Help us build this program together. All right. I'm going to head out before I choke to death. And I also want to get some breakfast. I hope you had a great Boxing Day. I hope you had a great holiday. I'm Max Farrow. This is Dex Trader, the Dex Effects Copy Network. I really do hope that you join us and jump on board. If you have wants to get into trading and really figure Forex out, this is the way to do it. Okay, start out here, and then you can go through all of our other systems to learn. All right, guys, take care. Happy Boxing Day. I'll see you soon. And as always, trade well.